I will think of it. I will think of it. Many great things have come from thinking. We cannot see our thoughts, or hear, or taste, or feel them. And yet, what power our thoughts have. Isaac Newton sat in his garden on a summer's evening when he saw an apple fall from a tree. He began to think, and in trying to find out why the apple fell, discovered how the earth, sun, moon, and stars are kept in their places. A young James Watson sat quietly by the fireside, watching the lid of the tea kettle as it moved up and down. He began to think. He wanted to find out what the steam in the kettle moved that heavy lid from that time. He went on thinking and thinking, and when he became a man, he improved the steam engine so much that it could do the work of many horses. James Ferguson was a poor shepherd boy. Once seeing the inside of a watch was filled with wonder. I should make a watch, he thought. But how was he going to make it? He began to think and eventually made a wooden clock, which kept good time. In a few years, while still a small boy, he earned enough money to support his father. Later in his life, his motto was, I will think of it. He made his thoughts useful to himself and the world.
Hello, I am Ashlina. My story is I will think of it. I will think of it. Many great things have come from thinking. We cannot see our thoughts, or hear, or taste, or feel them, and yet what power our thoughts have. Isaac Newton sat in his garden on a summer's evening when he saw an apple fall from a tree. He began to think, and in trying to find out why the apple fell, discovered how the earth, sun, moon, and stars are kept in their places. A young James Watt sat quietly by the fireside watching the lid of the tea kettle as it moved up and down. He began to think, in trying to find out why the steam in the kettle moved the heavy lid. And when he went from that time he went on thinking and thinking, and when he became a man, he improved the steam engine so much that it could do the work for many horses. James Ferguson was a poor shepherd boy. Once seen inside of a watch, he was filled with wonder. I should make a watch, he thought, but how was he going to make it? He began to think and eventually made a wooden clock which kept good time. In a few years, while still a small boy, he earned enough money to support his father. Later in life, his motto was, I will think of it. And he made his thoughts useful to himself and the world. Thank you.
I will think of it. I will think of it. Many great things have come from thinking. We cannot see our thoughts, or hear, or taste, or feel them, and yet what power our thoughts have. Isaac Newton sat in his garden on a summer's evening when he saw an apple fall from a tree. He began to think, and in trying to find out why the apple fell, discovered how the earth, sun, and moon are kept in their places. A young James Watt sat quietly by the fireside, watching the lid of the tea kettle as it moved up and down. He began to think. He wanted to find out why the steam in the kettle moved the heavy lid. From that time, he went on thinking and thinking. And when he became a man, he improved the steam engine so much that it could do the work of many horses. James Ferguson was a poor shepherd boy. Once seeing the inside of a watch, he began to think. He was filled with wonder. I should make a watch, he thought. But how is he even going to make it? He began to think and eventually made a wooden clock which kept good time. In a few years, while still a small boy, he earned enough money to support his father. Later in life, his motto was, I will think of it, and he makes his thoughts useful to himself and the world.
Bruce and the Spider. There was once a king whose name was Robert Bruce. He needed to be both brave and wise. Another king was at war with him. Battle after battle had been fought 6 times. Bruce had led his brave little army against his foes, and 6 times his men were defeated. At last his army was forced to hide in among the mountains. One rainy day, Bruce lay on the ground under a fruit shed, listening to the patter of the drops on the roof above him. He wanted to give up. Suddenly, he saw a spider over his head, making ready to weave her web. He watched her closely. 6 times she tried to throw her trail thread from one beam to another, and 6 times it fell short. Poor thing, said Bruce. You do know what it is to fail. But the spider did not lose hope. With still more care, she made ready to try for the 7th time. Bruce again watched her. Would she fail again? No! The thread was carried safely to the beam. I too will try the 7th time, cried Bruce. He arose and called his men together and told them of his plans. Soon there was an army of brave men around him. Another battle was fought, but this time he was victorious. After that day, no one by the name of Bruce would ever hurt a spider.
I will think of it. Many great things have come from thinking. We cannot see our thoughts, or hear, or taste, or feel them, and yet what power our thoughts have. Isaac Newton sat in his garden on a summer's evening when he saw an apple fall from a tree. He began to think, and in trying to find out why the apple fell, discovered how the earth, sun, and stars, and moon and stars are kept in their places. A young James Watt sat quietly by the fireside, watching the lid of the tea kettle as it moved up and down. He began to think. He wanted to find out why the steam in the kettle moved the heavy lid. From that time, he went on thinking and thinking, and when he became a man, he improved the steam engine so much that it could do the work of many horses. James Ferguson was a poor shepherd boy. Once seeing the inside of the watch, he was filled with wonder. I shall make a watch, he thought. But how was he going to make it? He began to think and eventually made a wooden clock, which kept good time. In a few years, while still a small boy, he earned enough money to support his father. Later in life, his motto was, I will think of it. And he made his thoughts useful to himself and the world.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nana. I will think of it. I will think of it. Many great things have come from metal bells. Discover how the earth, sun, moon, and stars are kept in their places. A young dreamer once sat quietly by the fireside, watching the wind of the kettle as it moved up and down. He began to think he wanted to find out why the steam in the kettle moved repeatedly. From that time, he went on thinking and thinking. And when he became a man, he improved the steam again so much that it could do the work of many horses. James Ferguson was a bushel boy. One seeing the inside of a watch, he was filled with windows. I should make a watch, he thought. But how was he going to make it? He began to think and eventually made a wooden clock. We kept the time. In a few years, while still a small boy, he earned enough money to support his father. Later, in life,